Hey everyone, here with a video showcasing the unreleased vehicles yet to come to the Chop Shop DLC in GTA Online. We'll be starting up with the vehicles that cannot be customized, which is going to be the new Benson Cluckin Bell Edition, which is gonna come in at a cool for $500,000 for the trade price and $685,000 for the buy it now price. Then there is this snazzy looking Coca-Cola van, which is very cool. It doesn't seem to have a price, so it might be related to a free roam event, and yes, it is possible to have the lights light up during nighttime, which is very cool. I'm sure if you ever seen one of those Coca-Cola truck commercials, you have seen this one before as well. We'll start off with the Baller STD, which will come in at a small price of only $1.7 million. It would also have a mounted tech available within it, and in terms of customization, there's actually quite a bunch of things that you can do with it. Especially the liveries are a little bit on the disappointing side, I'd say. There's like a black stripe or a white stripe, and they seem to be relatively similar overall, but it's a pretty decent customizable car overall. In terms of performance though, it's definitely one of the top contenders for the SUV class, I would argue, upon first impression. The acceleration of the car is rather speedy, and I think it can definitely hold a candle to the Baller ST, which is the current top spot of the class. Some might even say that it's gonna give the D to the ST. Yeah. Moving on.
Too close. Look out, man. What is happening?
Next up, we have the Calvacade XL coming in at a cool $1.6 million, which in terms of performance kinda is around the same ballpark as the Baller STD. I'd say it's a bit slower on the acceleration though, because the Baller STD really just sets off and goes. Traction wise though, it's feeling not really as heavy as an SUV normally does. Same thing with the STD, but customization wise, again, plenty for you to explore and to customize.
Man, you got off lucky, homie.
The Dorado, which is coming in at a cool $1.3 million, will also be available within the SUV class. If you're noticing a pattern in terms of what vehicles are still yet to release, you are right. These are mostly SUVs and there are no sports or supercars coming to the game, which some might argue is a bit of a shame, but I would argue we have over 100 sports cars, so having some different classes getting some love is definitely not a bad thing. In terms of customization, again, plenty here to explore, and in terms of performance, I'm kind of a little bit nervous about the suspension of this one. I think if you might yank it a little bit too much to the left or to the right, you might be doing a bit of turtling, so be careful with this one if you're planning on going fast around corners. But aside from that, it seems to be definitely slower than the other two SUVs that we talked about before, so maybe it's one of those like slower to accelerate and faster in a straight line type of beats, but I guess we'll find out whenever the Bruffy man decides to test the cars. Up next, the big ticket item, the one I'm sure everyone is waiting for, the Gauntlet Hellfire Interceptor. Oh boy, what a great car, and it looks really good. I mean, let's be honest. The customization on this is just as good as the cruiser that is already available within the game. You can customize the emergency lights and a whole heap of other gadgets and stuff like that. So except for me talking about it, I'll just show you. Performance wise, I'm not entirely sure, but I have a feeling that it seems to be faster than the regular Gauntlet Hellfire. It seems to accelerate a bit better. It seems to be a bit grippy and not as understeery, but again, this is just my impressions from going around the block, and you know, obviously there's me just maybe talking a little bit too much out of my bootay. Oh, and in case you're wondering about the price of the Gauntlet Interceptor, yeah, it's only a cool $4 million for the trade price, and if you want to buy it right away, $5.4 million. It's gonna be a costly one, but you know, I would argue that it might be one of the cooler vehicles in the game, so I'll definitely be getting it. Next up, we have the Impaler SZ coming in at just shy of $1.3 million. It's a sedan class car that doesn't really sound like a sedan in terms of engine sound to me, but it's more of one of the tuner type of cars, I suppose. I'm not much of a car guy when it comes to IRL stuff, so I'm sure someone in the comments will be able to point out, it's like, you are an idiot because this and that, and it's a cultural tuner car, and yada yada yada. Also, if it wasn't obvious enough, if you look at all these cars that you've seen so far, or even in the DLC itself, I'm sure pretty much every single car in this DLC has been backported from GTA 6. People have even said that they spotted cars that are in this DLC and are still meant to be coming out in this DLC, that they literally saw them in the trailer. I wouldn't be surprised if the Baller STD was actually in the trailer too, because I think I spotted the Baller ST, but it might have been the Baller STD. Anyways, moving on. And finally, we have the Terminus, which is coming in at a cool $1.8 million and also has Imani tech. The off-road traction loss, by the way, is only 0.15, and it's noticeable, which in English just basically means that it's very grippy off-road, which means that it could be a very good contender for the top spot in the off-road class. It doesn't seem to really want to roll either, and for what we can see from the handling file so far, it seems to not really mind bushes either, which is another major plus for an off-road car. One very funny thing is on the grille, where you can make the car look angry, and then on the front mirror as well. So, you know, if you're feeling like having an angry off-road car, this is the one for you. Overall, very nice handling car. Definitely think it could be a top contender for the off-road class. Definitely worth looking into to get when it comes out. But aside from that, that is really all there is to it for me in terms of rambling on about these vehicles. I'll leave you the rest of the footage. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and become a member like Chloe, GTA Plus, Dan, Notorious GM, and the Crystal Onyx. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.